The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 8, The Rescue. Obviously, there's going to be spoilers in this video, so steer clear. It wasn't until after I watched the episode and I hopped on Twitter. I completely skipped the credits. I didn't see any kind of concept art going on, so I turned it off. And I hopped on Twitter and everybody was like, that post-credit scene. So I decided to go back and rewatch it. Some of you guys might not even know there is a post-credit scene. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's pretty great, pretty goofy, and we have another Star Wars book or show or something to look forward to in December of 2021. So, yeah, man. Anyway, hey guys, go follow Wicked Joyful on Instagram. He made these awesome Bill Burr Mayfeld custom figures, and I love them so much. And he's actually selling 3 of them, and they go on sale tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Super limited quantity, only 3, and then done. Be sure to follow him on Instagram. It's a really great account to follow. And I think we're gonna set up a little chit chat sometime, a little Hello Greedo podcast. So look forward to that. Hell yeah. The last 20 minutes of this episode is really what shined through for me. I'm just gonna ping pong all around in this video. I'm not gonna talk about things in chronological order. I absolutely loved the beginning though, with the chasing the scientist. That opening was fantastic, with the 2 pilots and one of them holding hostage. This episode had so much like John Wick style blaster firing from the Mandos. It was great. And one of my favorite things, it's weird, in the entire episode is just this like long panning shot of Slave 1 flying, and then it just kind of slowly touches down and it turns off its engines. I don't know why. It was just a beautiful shot. I did not expect to really dig the Dark Troopers. They were something that I thought were gonna be, a little over the top and whatnot. But dude, they were terrifying. The music that played, that was like this heavy bass, mechanical thumping music score that started blaring whenever they were like firing up and turning on. It was great. I actually thought when they got sucked out into the airlock, into space, I thought that was it. I thought they were done. And I was like, oh, that was pretty underwhelming. But damn, they come back in a big way, just to basically be used as cannon fodder, right? This is the best episode of Moff Gideon so far, I think. He's being a trickster. He tries to trick Mando into just kind of like going along. I don't know. He plays almost like a sympathetic card to Mando. He tries to like, I don't know, empathize with Mando and trick him into thinking that, you can take the kid. I already have what I want from the kid, right? His blood. I loved Moff Gideon in here. The Darksaber fight was great. My only like issue, and it's more of a question for people who don't know the history of like Mandalore and maybe didn't watch the Clone Wars and stuff like that. There is a point where Moff Gideon basically just vomits expository dialogue for like a minute straight, talking about how the Darksaber, whoever has it, rules Mandalore, and you can't just give it away. It has to be earned and fought in combat. It was like this big long explanation that maybe if you weren't familiar with the Clone Wars, it would have been a lot to take in, and maybe it would have felt like it came out of nowhere. Does that make sense? But it was definitely there. It was definitely put into place just to kind of explain to non-Clone Wars viewers what the hell this Darksaber was and why Bo-Katan wanted it, and this entire backstory for it. I mean, it needed to be there because I would be willing to bet that the majority of Mando viewers have not seen the Clone Wars. Do you think that's safe to say? I mean, the people that I know that are watching The Mandalorian, I would say 90 plus, maybe 95% of them have never watched a single episode of the Clone Wars. It's bigger than animated shows. It's if that makes sense. But yeah. So the part that everyone is talking about and will be talking about for a very long time, Luke, this single X-wing pops out of hyperspace, flies into the hangar, and we see a cloaked figure step out and start walking through this ship. And we see the lightsaber, in these like black and white security camera, the footage. And it isn't until, I believe, a little after we see this Jedi, you know, mowing down dark troopers, it isn't until I think a minute into that we see the green. I think, if I'm remembering it correctly. And I'm not immune to having that level of fan service really impact me. Like, I no joke had a lump in my throat just seeing, as Steele Saunders would say, Luke igniting the green. Right, it is my favorite lightsaber. Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker lightsaber. Just seeing him, you know, in action, going after the child. There is the connection there with Grogu, and it was a really powerful moment. People like started tweeting at me saying that, hey man, you got Mecha Luke. I didn't think it was that over the top. I thought it was I thought it was a really fun way to kind of get the characters out of a sticky situation and bring Luke into. The reason I think I love it so much is because it makes sense. You know, you have the child. Luke is basically building a new school, new generation of Jedi, and the timeline lines up, and it just makes complete sense that the child would go to Luke. I love that. I love that. Now, the thing that was very jarring was the CG. You know, they can only make it so good, I guess, but like, you know, I'm sure everybody's bitching and moaning about it, as they kind of should, because it doesn't, there's something, that uncanny valley thing that, you know, is a cliche thing to talk about, but it's true, man. There's always something that is off, and it was very off. And, you know, I can look past it. I can just appreciate that, you know, the essence of Luke is there, and it, you know, story-wise, narrative-wise, I get it. I can look past, like, maybe CG that fails to convince. I can look past it, but it's weird, man. Like with Leia in Rogue One, with Luke here, with Tarkin in Rogue One, it's jarring. As good as they try to make it, it's just not there yet, you know. That being said, cool to see Luke. Maybe it would look great if it was just like a still image, but you know, when you try to animate the eyebrows and the mouth, and it just, you know, it starts to look a little funky. But hey, when is that technology just going to be like indistinguishable from reality? It's coming, but it's just not there yet. But yeah, overall, I loved that moment. As I said, I am not immune to that level of fan service. I thought it was done well, done relatively subtle. It wasn't too crazy and over the top. I didn't think so. Something I really appreciate also is how the Mandalorian didn't turn into the Boba Fett show. You know, Boba Fett just appears at the beginning, which was great. You know, he's there to kind of throw off the Empire's scent when it comes to the shuttle that's landing, you know, a little trickery there. And then he's basically gone. And I thought that was great. I did not want the Mandalorian to or Boba Fett to kind of like overshadow the Mandalorian at all. And I thought they did a solid job just kind of, you know, utilizing Boba Fett where they needed to, and then getting rid of him as they should, you know, stay focused. So yeah, the child is with Luke. I never would have imagined that when we first started this show. And I like it so much because the timeline lines up and it makes sense, you know. It makes sense. It didn't feel like an unnecessary, like, just cameo for the sake of, you know, having a familiar face in there. It makes sense. The Jedi are all but extinct, right? Despite a few. And Luke is trying to kind of reconnect and rebuild. And yeah, it's exciting. And it makes sense. That connection's there. So I really like it. We get to see R2 as well. Which was cool, and I'm so glad, like, there was a moment where I thought maybe C-3PO was gonna walk around the corner and be like a bumbling idiot. I'm so glad they didn't do that. That would have been a little over the top too, right? But, yeah, and then at the end when, you know, Mando and Grogu, they're saying bye. That was heavy, man. That was good. I'm glad, you know, he took the helmet off and they had that moment. Yeah, it was wonderful. Wonderful closing of the episode. You know, like the first half, I felt like, as I said, was John Wick with blasters and they were just running down the corridor. It felt very similar to other episodes that we've seen, you know? But yeah, the last half was really solid, really tense. And yeah, I really enjoyed how they ended this season. I expected them to end on a massive cliffhanger, like they wouldn't get the kid back, but this is a cliffhanger in its own way, right? I mean, Mando and the child, they're no longer together. He's in good hands. where does the show go from here? Maybe it's going to go in the direction of like, we're going to go to Mandalore. It's going to be Bo-Katan and the Mandalorian. And we're going to see that side of this Star Wars story, which would be cool. If I had to guess, that's the direction it goes in. The rightful heir of Mandalore. Maybe they're going to go and change something. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah. So I don't know what I think I like the first season better, man. But that's for another video. I do think I like the first season better, just because it kind of like it stood on its own 2 feet. It was brand new. Everything was new. All the characters were new. And but yeah, I really like this season. That's for another video. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below. I'm gonna maybe making a few more Mandalorian videos over the next week or so. It's gonna feel weird, man. We don't have Mandalorian episodes to look forward to on Fridays anymore for another year, but it's good. We gotta let it breathe, right? So let me know what you thought of this episode in the comment section below. Yeah, my only issue with it was really just kind of like that long expository dialogue, and I know you need that. Yeah, whenever you have long extended moments of expository dialogue like that, it always feels like the character is just staring at the audience like through the screen and just telling them exactly what they need to know for this moment to make sense. And you need it, but sometimes it just feels goofy. But it makes sense also internally, because the Mandalorian Mando Din, he does not know, and he's kind of like the audience's vessel in the show to kind of get the knowledge himself that maybe a lot of the audience needs as well. So it makes sense internally and externally to feed that information, but sometimes it feels a little goofy. Yeah, it just does. I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Hello, Greedo. Out.